Jai Shri Krishna. Arjuna was in a relationship with the Lord as friend. Of course, there is a gulf of difference between this friendship and the friendship found in the material world. This is transcendental friendship which cannot be had by everyone. Of course, everyone has a particular relationship with the Lord, and that relationship is evoked by the perfection of devotional service. But in the present status of our life, we have not only forgotten the Supreme Lord, but we have forgotten our eternal relationship with the Lord. Every living being out of many billions and trillions of living beings has a particular relationship with the Lord eternal, that is called Swarup. By the process of devotional service, one can revive that Swarup, and that stage is called Swarup Siddhi, perfection of one's constitutional position. So Arjuna was a devotee and he was in touch with the Supreme Lord in relationship. How Arjuna accepted this Bhagavad Gita should be noted. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Brahm, the ultimate, the Supreme Abode and purified, the absolute truth and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all pervading beauty. All the great saints like Narad, Asita, Devla, and Vyas proclaim this of you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the gods nor demons, O Lord, no, the personality. After hearing Bhagavad Gita from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna accepted Krishna as Purna Brahm, the Supreme Brahm. Every living being is Brahm, but the Supreme Living Being or the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Brahm. Paramdham means that he is the supreme rest or abode of everything. Pavitra means that he is pure, untainted by material contamination. Purusam means that he is the supreme angel, Divyam, transcendental, Adi Devam, the supreme personality of Godhead, Ajam, the unborn, and Vibhum, the greatest, the all pervading. Now, one may think that because Krishna was the friend of Arjuna, Arjuna was telling him all this by way of flattery, but Arjuna, just to drive out this kind of doubt from the minds of the readers of Bhagavad Gita, substantiates these phrases in the next verse when he says that Krishna is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead not only by himself but by authorities like the seas, Narada, Asita, Devas, Vyasdeva, and so on. These are great personalities who distribute the Vedic knowledge as it is accepted by all acharyas. Therefore, Arjuna tells Krishna that he accepts whatever he sees to be completely perfect. I accept everything you say to be true. Arjuna also says that the personality of the Lord is very difficult to understand and that he cannot be known even by the great demigods. This means that the Lord cannot even be known by personalities greater than human beings. So, how can a human being understand Krishna without becoming his devotee? Therefore, Bhagavad Gita should be taken up in a spirit of devotion. One should not think that he is equal to Krishna, nor should we think that Krishna is an ordinary personality or even a very great personality. Lord Sri Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, at least theoretically, according to the statements of Bhagavad Gita or the statements of Arjuna. The person who is trying to understand the Bhagavad Gita, we should therefore at least theoretically accept Sri Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. And with that submissive spirit, we can understand the Bhagavad Gita. Unless one reads the Bhagavad Gita in a submissive spirit, it is very difficult to understand Bhagavad Gita because it is a great mystery. Just what is the Bhagavad Gita? The purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to deliver mankind from the naissance of material existence. Every man is in difficulty in a so many ways as Arjuna also was in difficulty in having to fight the battle of Kurukshetra. Arjuna surrendered into Sri Krishna and consequently this Bhagavad Gita was spoken. Not only Arjuna, but every one of us is full of anxieties because of this material existence. Our very existence is in the atmosphere of non existence. Actually, we are not meant to be threatened by non existence. Our existence is eternal, but somehow or other we are put into asat. Asat refers to that which does not exist. Out of so many human beings who are suffering, there are a few who are actually inquiring about their position as to what they are, why they are put into the awkward position, and so on. Unless one is awakened to this position of questioning his suffering, unless he realizes that he does not want suffering but rather wants to make a solution to all sufferings, then one is not to be considered a perfect human being. Humanity beings, when the sort of inquiry is awakened in one's mind in the Brahma Sutra, this inquiry is called Brahm Jesus. Every activity of the human being is to be considered a failure unless he inquires about the nature of the Absolute. Therefore, those who begin to question why they are suffering or where they came from and where they shall go after death are proper students for understanding Bhagavad Gita. The sincere student should also have a firm respect for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a student was Arjuna. Lord Krishna descends specifically to reestablish the real purpose of life when man forgets that purpose. Even then, out of many, many human beings who awaken, there may be one who actually enters the spirit of understanding his position. And for him, this Gita is spoken. Actually, we are all followed by the tiger of nations. But the Lord is very merciful upon living entities, especially human beings. To this end, he spoke the Bhagavad Gita, making his friend Arjuna his student. Being an associate of Lord Krishna, Arjuna was above all ignorance. But Arjuna was put into ignorance on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, just to question Lord Krishna about the problems of life, so that the Lord could explain them for the benefit of future generations of human beings and chalk out the plan of life. Then men could act accordingly and perfect the mission of human life. Jai Shri Krishna.